Hobby Planner meets Mixed Media. Creative Katie, that's me, Karen Burchill. This video you will see me using Dylusions paints, distress inks, my personal quote stash, a couple stencils, and a die cut. Here are most of the products that I'll be using on this page. And here is a sneak peek of the finished page. But first, take time to subscribe to my channel. That way you won't miss any upcoming planner videos. Creative Katie, Karen Burchill, and I'm getting ready to do the last full week of January, but I just wanted to show you my last week's page just to show you that when we left off there were lots of blank areas. People have asked questions, are you actually using it? Are you just decorating it? Is it a functional journal? And you know, you can see, and I don't want to show you too much, but I mean, it's all used up. There's spaces in here and every little nook and cranny that is has been used, and they've either been checked off or they have arrows on them saying we're going to bring that into the next week. So I did find that the jelly prints, if you aren't careful at putting the double-sided tape right on the edge, it kind of lifts at it for a page that's actually being used. So I did go back in with my Yoo-hoo glue stick and glue those down. So either in the future I need to, you know, go right along the edge to make sure that it's glued down properly, or use the glue stick, because I really like using the jelly prints. I have them and I love them, and the combinations that are there, so that's great. So I'm just going to pull out this next week and put this off to the side. Now there is a little bit of buckling here, and I'm not sure why that is, if it was too much water or whether I was just rough with the pages. But so what I'm going to do, I went through my basically incomplete ETCs that I have, and I pulled out ones that are kind of in the teal family, and this one caught my eye. There's, you know, blues and teals and greens underneath, and then I've used the gel pen. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to share with you a trick that I had with my art journaling, and it helped for traveling. Now in this box inside here I have tons of quotes. Now every once in a while I go on Pinterest and I save different quotes and different things that I find inspirational, and I pin them onto an inspirational Pinterest board. Then periodically I spend some time and I just type those up on the computer, and I change the font, I change the size, I change the font, I have fun. I download fonts from dafont.com, and then I have all of them. And so when I'm doing either an ATC or any project that requires quotes, I can just go into here. So these are all nicely kind of pre-cut. You can kind of pull them off. I also have them, and this is where I had them initially, in a quotes binder, where I have, this was what my first, the same quotes in different fonts. So then I can just flip through there and use what's already printed out, so I don't have to rush to the printer. And I think that'll be great to add some quotes to and some inspiration to my page without having to start rushing to the printer and printing something out. Because remember, as much as I want to decorate my planner, I want it to be quick and easy. So having these pre-done things, like the jelly prints, like this, are quite helpful. So I think I'm going to play around with where this piece goes. just so that bulk doesn't build up in my planner. Because if I always put it in the same corner, that corner is going to be a little bit higher up. So, you know, I'm just going to play with that. And I think I'm just going to put it here today. And I'm not sure if it's going to go this way or this way, but if it's kind of halfway in between on some of these, I can still write here, 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 and here, you know. And as you saw on the other page, I am using up every little nook and cranny. So since this has, you know, my peacock stamp, I thought maybe what I would do is get out all my stencils that I have that somehow, for some point, reads to me as peacock, you know. So this kind of looks like peacock to me, especially if you do it in those colors. That one kind of looks like the feathers. This is the one that is on that ATC. This was a silhouette cut file, but again, it looks to me as if it's peacocky, as is this one. And then we have both a large peacock feather and a small one. And most of these ones are Crafter's Workshop. I have kite ones and different ones, and I'll put a link to the products down in the description box to my Amazon store. So if you're interested in looking for something that you see me using, there are links there. And, you know, full disclosure, if you go through into my Amazon store and buy something, I am getting a small commission for that. It's really nothing major, but I just want to be perfectly open and honest with my subscribers that that's what is happening. So I'm not sure. I really like the idea of using the peacock feather and putting that kind of across maybe the whole thing. This time, something completely different. I was going to bring out my template and use my distress ink just like I did here. And if you're interested in how I use that and how I created the template, please go back to my last video because that is in there. So that could be there, and I could do that, just have it underneath. And because this is going to be flat and not jelly prints, I maybe just give my jelly prints a break this week. Okay, so I'm going to decide, get out my inks, and I will be back. Okay, so I've opened up my Dylusions paints and I'm going to apply it a very thin layer, and it's going to be key because, you know, I don't want this to buckle. I figure it's a good time to try that out because the back of this page that I'm going to primarily put this on is, you know, a blank page. It's not something that I'm using. And I'm going to try to just put it on this side. Now, for the sake of just making it easier. Now, I don't think I would use straight acrylic paints or craft paints with this because I believe that might be a little too wet and too difficult to control. So I'm going to start with this color and I'm just going to work it in. And I'm just going to apply that. Now I may find out and be able to tell you that this buckles too much and this doesn't work. And I'm willing to risk this because that's, you know, kind of what this is all about. Just experimentation. And I'm kind of rubbing Remember, you can come back. This isn't the final pass through. So with this, you can just pick any, pick any theme that you wish. And so for today, I went with the peacock theme. And it can be related to the holidays that are going on, or just personal things that you like. Like I had the one page that was all cats, and it makes it easy to make those decisions of what you want to put in there if you pick a theme. It kind of focuses you a little bit. So as promised with these videos, I am basically testing things out to see if they work. Some things are going to be yays and some things are going to be nays. And if it's a nay for me, that doesn't mean that it's a nay for you. I just want to do a little bit of a sneak peek here and see what's happening. And I'm loving it. I think that is so cool. I automatically, when I thought about using stencils on this, I was thinking using smaller stencils, but I love the big one. Now I'm going to reach for some other colors, and I have this After Midnight, which is the dark blue. And I apologize for the coughing. I've been down with a cold for a couple weeks here, and it's definitely played with me. And made things difficult. I'm feeling up to creating now. It's just making it difficult to do videos because, oops, maybe a little too wet. So you really have to control the wetness on this. And I'm just going to take that off. And I am going to use my heat tool just a smidge here. It's not overly wet. Look at that. I love it. It is amazing. So I'm looking at this and I'm absolutely loving it. It really didn't buckle the page much at all. The page is a good weight. Kudos to the Happy Planner people for quality. Because I have the Dylusions paints out, I'm going to add this over here just to bring a little more color onto this page. This spread is going to be relatively simple. They all don't have to be the same, and I am playing with it. I'm trying to decide. Now with the Dylusions paints, once you got paint in the felts, it's kind of good point to maximize their overall use in there. And now that I know that it's not going to impact negatively the paper any more than the little bits of water that I put in, or oop, that was a little wet. And this is just something I got in Happy Mail, actually from my sister-in-law. this little swirl thing, and surprisingly using it quite a bit. You know, you never know what little bits. So I'm just kind of looking at my stencils now in a different way, as they would fit on the journal pages. So, okay. That's kind of cute. I'm going to take that off, and I think what I'm going to do is actually cover up the light bulb. The light bulb doesn't seem to fit. I'm going to embrace my peacock pattern, so I'm going to put that there, and just going to go clean up my blending tools here and put away my Dylusions paints. Okay, so we have the page, and I'm absolutely loving it. It dried a little bit more, and it's wonderful. And I think I might just get my Sakura Jelly Roll pens, and I can do some doodling on that with those, or with my Staedtler if I want to do that. I may just leave it. I think I'm going to put that there, but I have, you know, some of the quotes. Don't give up. Great things take time. Don't believe all the things you tell yourself at night. Magic is something you make. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that one. A life without dreams would be just a life. Dreams without a life. A life without dreams. Okay. Life. And so now comes the fussy placement. So I'm just going to glue those down, and for this purposes I'm just going to use my matte gel. But you can use any kind of adhesive that you have, glue stick, what have you. That's, you know, doing mixed media, that's kind of what I have. I'm more apt if I have that than a glue stick right close. And I'm not trying to be too centered or anything, because sometimes it's nice to have that little bit off. And we have that. I think this needs a border of black, so I'm just using my Stabilo. And I'm putting it on fairly boldly. and I'm just activating it. Could use watercolored crayons. I could have used my Inktense pencils here. Sorry for the sniffles. Okay. Give that a quick dry. You can see that little bit of black. I'm going to zoom in here. Whoops. That just bordered it, just made it. And I'm just going to do the same around here. Give this a little bit of a sharp. I don't want it. It's these little details that make it. Just make it a little bit, makes the words pop. And I'm not putting a focal point on this one because we have quite a lot visually going on this page. There we go. I'm just going to center it on there. And that's the thing. I mean, if you put something and you later decide it doesn't fit your theme or where you want to go. This tape is quite a bit old, I think. Oops. Okay, so now I want to color these. Now I could get out my Inktense pencils. But since I have my distress inks right here, I'm just going to put some color. I've never done this. I've seen it being done. Put the color on here and I'm going to just get some color. And I'm just playing with the colors, just putting little bits at a time. Just want to mix on there and do the same down here. Put a little bit more. Excuse me. Got too much water going on. I am tapping off the brush, getting the water on a paper towel off camera. Got a little messy. Oh well. So, since this isn't anywhere in here, I'm just going to use my jelly roll, my Secura jelly roll, and just outline it. Just give this page just that little bit of bling. I'm quite happy with how this is turning out. I am using supplies that have not been used a whole lot. Finding new uses for what I have. I'm enjoying the creative process. Of course, I've challenged myself to give you something new, a new idea, a new way of using mixed media materials and techniques on each of these you know, each spread. So that keeps my brain going just a bit. And I have a list of them started. Oops. So I'm happy to say there should be many more videos coming up. If you like the videos, if you want me to continue, please let me know. Leave a comment. Share the video if you know any mixed media artists that are also into the planning thing. Share the video with them. You know, and this one we're gonna call it. I'm gonna call it done for this page. It's fairly open, lots of white space, and that's okay. I can add stamps after the week goes by if I so choose. We can go there. So we'll see that the next spread we are into February. And that means I'm going to get my pink and red on. And there's this very special video coming where you're going to see me do just that. Kind of a pre-planning, pre-prepping for the entire month of February. And if you want to find out what that is, you're just going to have to look for the very next video after this one. Bye for now. So thank you so much for watching and joining me on this journey. I hope I've given you some new ideas that you could use in your planner. Here's some shots of the pages. And yes, I did end up adding the word dream off camera. And we'll talk about that in another upcoming video. But I did use a die cut from my silhouette machine. And there's the finished spread. I absolutely love it.